Hello, my lovely Virgs. Criticize all you want. I don't care. I know. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I'm doing a general read for the upcoming full moon. Hope y'all are well. All the things. All right, Virgs. Let's see what's going on with you, BBs. Let's see what all we have here. Well, fuck. There are a ton of cards here. Okay, hold on. Let me just scooch it because I need space. BB, I love you. I have the orphan, the mother, the underworld, the fault line, the eternal child, Gnosis, the gem, the lover, the heart, and the thread. Okay. I mean, we'll start with the fault line in the underworld, yeah? The fault line is just that idea of, the foundation that's cracked. And honestly, Virgs, I want to say, the foundation, the fault line is with the orphan and the mother. And you have a fear of abandonment that I think, it's hard for you to stand on a solid foundation when you feel like you've never been given the opportunity to even understand what a solid foundation is. You're going to make me cry, and I haven't even started. Okay. And, because of that, you carry a very low opinion of yourself. For all of your, what was the last one where you were like, I'm smarter than everybody and I'm, more emotionally aware. And yes, you are, you're bigger than most people. There's no question about how unique you are as a person. And I'm pretty sure that it's a common thread that, people with Virgo placements suffer from having a God complex. I get it. I'm a Virgo Mercury. Communication is my thing though. That's why. And that being said, that self-inflated opinion of yourself is I almost want to say it's kind of like that mask, the mask, of where, the mask isn't here, but, if I, was just trying to, give a visual for it, I would say that, that I'm smarter and I'm more emotionally aware is almost like this mask of survival, you've experienced such a high level of rejection. And stood on foundations that seemed to just like crack before your, like, it was like nobody could handle your bigness, you know? I mean, I want to say that it's like that idea that like no mother you knew could handle the vastness of you. And it's like the idea of the weight of you. Holy fuck. Okay. The idea of the weight of your vastness, of your intelligence, of your emotional depth and capacity. I mean, like you come with an intensity, yeah. And it's like, you know, like nobody could handle that, you know. Even as a child, I think it was just like, it was, you were like, you know, like the you were just like a lot to handle, a lot to deal with, yeah. You know, not always in a bad way, sometimes in a phenomenal way, you know, but it was still like this idea that you've carried for your entire life of just being too much for people to handle. You know, and so while you know, like, can take pride in yourself for being smarter and more emotional and more intense and more aware, there's also this element of like self-hate that you carry, because it's that idea that no one's ever going to be able to handle the weight of you, the magnitude of you, the intensity of you. That your value will never be appreciated and recognized in its entirety for all of its worth, because it's almost like this idea of being valued so high that it's off the market. And that's played out in your relationships, you know, because you're like, you know, like your arrogance comes out in, you know, like, I'm too valuable for everyone, no one can afford me. And your insecurity comes out in the fact that there's an isolation that you experience in that, of like, no one is ever really going to understand me, no one is ever really going to get me. And yet it seems as though there's someone that you found yourself connected to who does see you in your entirety, with all of your value. And I think loves you very, very much. And I think that you are needing to really just like, I want to say like, swallow that pill, which is a strange thing to say, but that's kind of like, I feel like it's like a hard pill for you to swallow, you know, because it triggers this emotional roller coaster for you that is like, no one's ever been able to handle me. And yet, you know, like, I feel like there's still this idea, like this, I mean, you know, the eternal child, you know, like that child inside of you that feels like this ray of hope, this joy, this like fascination with the magic of being seen. You know, it's almost like it's like a cool trick, and you're like the little kid who's like, do it again, you know, like, show me again, can you do it again? And it's the most endearing, like, precious thing in the world. And I feel like you recognize that as well. And because of that, you know, you're wanting to offer your love to this person who you're connected to, because somehow, in spite of this, it's as though your heart has found a home. Holy fuck, I'm gonna cry. Not fair. Okay. You better leave me like a nice comment or a like or something. Please. Okay. So let's see what we can get in terms of clarifiers for my Virgs. Whew. That's like 10 cards. We have the Hierophant that popped out. Okay. Get it together. Okay, we have the Three of Swords, the Hermit, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Hierophant. And I mean, the Seven of Pentacles and the Three of Swords. I mean, that's, I want to say, like, that's like this underworld. That's this fault line. Like, I want to say, like, this idea of, like, it's this dual, I don't know what a solid foundation is, so I only ever, I only ever know how to create faulty ones. And also, like, am I ever going to be able to escape this cycle? Like, am I ever going to really know what it is to be a solid person? Because I feel like what I'm getting here is this idea of, again, carrying that, like, that kind of that bit of self-hate that says, like, I can't be a solid foundation for anybody because I don't even know what that means. All I know is I'm too big for everybody. Nobody can ever really seem to carry me. I'm a lot to deal with. The Hermit, I mean, it's a Virgo card. But, in this one, it really is the idea of, like, feeling like you're buried beneath your demons and your vices. Like you're, I feel like you feel stuck in this cycle. And yet, you have the Hierophant, and I feel like the Hierophant is more in line with this energy of the heart and the thread, because I feel like it's that idea of, like, of one acknowledging, even, the eternal child, because I get that feeling of, like, this, like somebody watching a magic trick, and, like, this, like, do it again, can you do it again, and, like, every time they do it again, you're like, hugs. and and I feel like you're like, okay, like, I can learn this trick, like, there's this idea almost of, like, being able to learn a trick. I have, like, and that's what I feel like you're wanting to do, is, like, learn the trick. But I think the trick for you in like, in terms of relationships and healing this, like, wounded child within is understanding what it is to have, like, a solid person in your life who sees you, who understands you, and who, like, shares in a connection with you that allows you to create a home when you've been incapable of feeling safe in your homes, to the point where you maintain broken foundations because you can dominate the energy, because you can rule the roost, you can be smarter and bigger and better, and keep everybody in their place beneath you, Because if you have to be on a faulty foundation, then you want to be at the top of the foundation. You want to be the one who dictates where the cracks are. You don't want to be the one out of control ever again. And the thought of being out of control horrifies you. And triggers this orphan mentality of abandonment. The Judgment and the King of Pentacles. And, you know, I feel like, you know, I really enjoy the Judgment card in this deck because, I mean, you can see it's kind of like this kid's coming back up and, you know, like, and the family's all there, you know, like chilling. It's almost like this celebration of being undead. You know, like coming back to life. You know, I kind of get the idea of like the prodigal son. You know, I don't know if you're familiar with that story, but it's the idea that, you know, this father has these two sons, and there's the son that does everything right and, you know, like stays there with his father and, you know, tends to their land, and, you know, like, and the other brother who takes his inheritance, goes and blows it on, you know, like prostitutes and fucking whatever, and comes back. And when he comes back, the father like runs to the end of the road and like hugs him and is so happy he's home, you know. And the one brother is upset, you know, like, how dare you rejoice in his return, you know, like, he's a piece of shit, he abandoned our family, you know. I mean, like, there's this like anger that this prodigal child faces. You know, and yet I feel like, you know, like what you anticipate facing versus the welcome that you receive is very, very different. You know, like your idea of judgment is the brother, but what you're experiencing, I almost want to say, is the judgment of the father. You know, and even the brother comes around after a while. You know what I mean? Even the brother is like, okay, fine. You know, like, yeah, I get it. He's our, you know, like, he's my brother and he's our family, and, you know, like, we're happy you're home, kind of thing. And I feel like that's like the judgment, is that idea of like, I'm so happy you're home. You know, like you feel a fear of rejection, but what is coming through here is that idea of like the prodigal son of, I'm so happy you're home. You know, the King of Pentacles and the gem. You know, I feel like, I mean, you know, I mean, the gem it started out as a lump of coal, you know. It started out as the lump of coal that went through so much pressure that it became a diamond. And, you know, like, that diamond was so rare that nobody could afford it, nobody could handle it. Nobody could really understand it, like, nobody could understand the value that it carried because it was, like, so rare, you know? And I feel like when you're coming into this connection, you're coming to this person who you share this connection with, you know, and it's like you're offering them the value of you. You know, the treasure that is you. It's almost as though to say you're trusting this person with yourself. Okay. Let's see what else we can get from my Virgs. The King of Cups and the Hanged Man. I think that you're seeing things so differently now than you did before. I think that you, at one point in time, questioned this, I don't know, like I want to say like this magician, because you know, like I really and truly I feel like it's that what comes through is that do it again, you know, like show me again. Can you really? Do you know what you're doing? Are you doing that on purpose? You know, like, and this person being like, you know, like, yeah, I'll do it again. Okay, you know, like here you go again. You know, let me show you again. And I think that I feel like there's just this idea of like you're believing in this person's ability to actually see your value and to understand the complexity that is you. You know, I feel like your idea of what connection means, because I think and I was in your reads for a hot minute at one point in time. I want to say like this fall, but it was this idea of like you had a list, and you were like, if they check off this, and this, then they're somebody that I'll date. They're somebody that I'll be in a relationship with. But it never worked, you know, because like the list that you created were so surface level that it was like when you dove deeper, because obviously you carry a depth of intensity that most people don't carry, but it's like, well, they checked off everything on my list, but like they're still not right for me. Like I don't want them, you know. Like, and you were like, I changed my mind, I don't want you, even if you do check off all of the things on my list, you know what I mean? And it wasn't working. I think you were kind of like internalizing that too, as, you know, again, that idea like you can't create anything stable. You know, it's just not something that you're capable of. And it's not that it wasn't anything that you were capable of so much as it was this idea of like, but you're surface leveling here, you know, instead of like taking it to that deeper level. Like, are these people connected with you? Do they see your value? Do they understand who you are, why you act the way you act, and you know, what triggers you, and what, you know, like how can I respond to you if I'm reacting to you? You know what I mean? And how can I connect to you if I'm dependent upon you? You know, like, and you know, like that idea of emotional dependency and codependency, and how that's played out in your relationships. And I feel like you're seeing it all very, very differently now. And, you know, like, and bringing this idea of connection into like a whole new light that, you know, I feel like you're like in real life coming in as the king, and, you know, in love with this person. You feel connected to them. You recognize this connection. You recognize the difference between this connection and all of the other connections. And you see things very differently, even the idea of judgment. Okay. Let's do one last archetype for my Virgs. The womb and the mystic. I wonder if age wasn't a thing that was like, I thought about that afterwards. I was like, that came from somewhere else. Okay, but the mystic, I mean, you know, the mystic is this idea of I can't even remember what any of the other things were right now. But it's like this ageless energy, this timeless energy. The seer, the light worker, the dreamer, remover of darkness, visionary, and ageless. And I really do, like, I feel like that's how you see this person. You know, like, this person sees through you. They are able to recognize your darkness. They're able to shine a light on your darkness, on your issues, on your fears, on your, you know, like your triggers. Like, they can see it all. They can illuminate it. They can bring it to life, and they can bring it to balance, and they have vision for you know, that supersedes, I think, what you've been offered, I want to say, like, ever before. You know, in the womb, is that idea of, like that safe place for growth and development. And I feel like when you look at this person, like because of the fact that they're able to um, see you so fully, I think that it gives you this means of like sincere like development, like emotional development, and um, like this mental development, like this mental health, like your mental health has been stunted, and like to bring healing to that, is a really big deal. And I think that when you're so big and it's so hard for people to understand you or to handle you, then it never gives you the opportunity to really have that safe place to like face those demons and those issues, and like move forward with them, and heal them, and grow beyond them. And I feel like that's what this connection means to you. Like the idea of like home being where the heart is, and like the womb and the mother. I mean, there's just something very healing about this, that, and this acceptance, even the story of like the prodigal son, of like coming home to a place where you're allowed to question, you're allowed to be who you are, and there's no I'm going to criticize you, or I'm going to take away from you, or boundaries for sure, but like you haven't, it's not that you weren't punished to the point of like, I'm going to unsee you now, you know um in fact, I feel like to you, this person just sees you even more, like there's just like this, almost like that magic trick to the next level. um and because of this connection, and because of this ability to bring healing and create a home, and to see your value, um, I think that's what's moving you to make this offering to this person, for love. Hope this resonates with y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you again soon.